Today, I'm joined by Chris Lincoln. He is People Director at Vagabond Wines. Hi, Chris. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. So before we get started, I just want to hear what's been your experience of the day? What's been your highlights so far?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's really diverse in terms of what people are talking about. It's great to see that everyone's kind of got similar themes as well. Yeah. Everyone's obviously a little bit exhausted in terms when it comes to the people operations side of things, but it's nice to hear that each industry is kind of connected in the same way, in that people are all behaving in the same way. So it kind of confirms that you're not doing it wrong in your own industry. Like everyone's got the same challenges. So yeah.
What do you think those challenges are? What are the most pressing challenges that people face in people operations currently?
I think, obviously AI, that's a huge topic of conversation today. I think people are both really embracing it and also terrified of it at the same time. Its impact that it's having holistically across everything is wild. And, but what's really great to hear is people's different takes on it. And that really opens your mind because, today alone, the conversation I've had in lunch, a gentleman's helped me change my mind about AI and the way in which I think about it. Because, I do use it a lot, but I also don't like it, which is a bit of an oxymoron. I'm aware of that. Yeah. But I think that's been really great. I think that's been really eye-opening.
Can you share how he changed your mind about it? What did he say?
We were talking about it in a recruitment perspective, and obviously I work in hospitality, so I'm all about human connection. And when companies try and sell me AI recruitment tools, I'm like, no, absolutely not. Like, how dare you? And I've seen people using it, in really strange ways. Like I've even had someone answering questions in interviews through ChatGPT. And I'm like, what's going on here? Have we got to this stage? But actually, he changed my mindset in that he's like, well, actually, does that not show his resourcefulness in that he's coming up with a conclusion? He's utilizing tools to give you a strong and right answer. And you're like, yeah, I guess, it does open your mind a little bit, rather than me running around the halls with a pitchfork trying to stab GBT.
Yeah. I think it's like that kind of transition, isn't it? From thinking of it, I've sort of been there as well, thinking of it as a cheat versus thinking of it as just another tool, I suppose, really.
Yeah, exactly. I think in some respects, we're at this gateway drug stage of AI, It's kind of a bit of a softly approach, but it could get worse. But, it could also get better. It might change your life.
I like to say that we're entering out of the fear phase and into the discovery phase, which sounds very corporate, but,
Yeah, and obviously mine sounds quite childish now. So. No. Thanks for the sap and dig.
I know, I like it. If there was one aspect of people operations that you could automate tomorrow, what would it be?
That I could automate? Gosh, I think onboarding. They do already exist, but if that could be done, this is from my industry's perspective, in terms of chasing documents and signing of things and health and safety training and all that. So, it takes a lot of our time, and I think would it be sad if the human touch was lost there? Probably not. It's all quite functional. So that would be definitely a huge headache one for us anyway.
Yeah, I think that's the thing most people say is that we could get rid of the admin, then we could all start thinking more strategically and more like humans, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, if we go back to recruitment, the admin side of it is the processing of CVs. Yeah. But actually, again, you can tell a lot from someone, I think, from looking at their CV and the way that it's written and the way in which it's structured and all the different fonts they use and, the attention to detail. I think, that human connection, especially for us, again, in hospitality, it teaches you a lot about someone, and I don't think AI is there yet. I think it's still just like, did they use this word, this word, this word? No, they didn't. Put them in the bin, and it does it quickly. And just for me, that's a bit sad.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, definitely. What do you think are some of the biggest misconceptions about people operations? Sort of like myths that you hear about it that you'd like to send to Room 101?
Oh, good question. Obviously, I don't think we have it as much. But the whole apps yielding side of things, where we're here to punish people, on the side of the business, we just represent the business, and all we want to make sure is the business is protected. And actually, any HR professional who's worth their salt works for the people before they work for the business. And it makes me sad when people post things like on LinkedIn when HR people are like, I'm a human too. And I'm like, well, yeah, I think maybe that's a cultural thing in your business. Because everyone knows I'm a human at my business. Not to throw shade on any of you who post that on LinkedIn. I'm sure it's for a reason. I think those old school HR days, right, I'd like them to just completely go. Like, we are a people function. We are about the people. And the one thing that will never change is the evolution of people and society. And our industry has to move the fastest, I think, because people never stand still.
Absolutely. And in the spirit of never standing still, where do you see people operations being in 5 to 10 years? Like, realistically, and also maybe wishful thinking. If you could have your way, what would it look like, and where do you think it's actually going to be?
That's a great question. And I almost feel like I do want to ask ChatGPT for that. But no. I think what would be really nice is actually to have the people's functions voice as loud as everyone else's around the board tables. I think we aren't quite there yet at the moment. Yes, they are starting to listen to it more, and we are starting to influence more, but not from a strategic point of view, I don't think, or not as much as a strategic point of view, more of a reactive, protective way. Actually, if HR people impact a business holistically, and we need to be seen as such, and our voice needs to be just as important, just as loud, just as impactful as operations, as sales, as tech, as everyone. I think that's what I'd really like to see.
It's a great note to finish on. Thank you so much, Chris, for your time today.
Thank you very much, Rick.